never trust anything a weatherman says. Never were truer words spoken than in the winter of 2010. I was a graduate student at Western Michigan University, and I shared a class that semester with a local TV weatherman who was known by everyone in West Michigan. Because he was a local celebrity, I took it upon myself to make sure he knew that he was just another one of us, and took every opportunity I could to give him a hard time. I would say things like, well, yes, I read the article, and I didn't see it this way. But I'm no weatherman. Or I would say something like, yeah, I wish someone would have told me it was going to be windy today. I always got laughs from the rest of the class, and even my professor. But from the weatherman himself, all I got at most was a head shake like this. And I thought, why will this guy not participate in my shenanigans? So it was a week before our last class, and our professor reminded us that we had a project due next week, and she suggested that when the class was over, we have a party to celebrate our successes at the end of the semester. So she handed around a sign-up sheet, and all of us signed up for what we were going to bring to the party next week. By the time the sheet got to me, everybody else had already signed up, and I saw on the sheet next to the weatherman's name that he was going to bring homemade peanut butter Buckeyes. You know, peanut butter balls dipped in chocolate, right? Immediately, my opinion of this guy changed. And I thought, maybe he isn't so bad after all. Well, midway through the week, our professor sent another email out reminding us again of our projects, and she reminded all of us of what we had signed up to bring, and sure enough, on the paper, or on the email, it had his name, and next to it, it said, homemade peanut butter Buckeyes. Not only was I excited to read that because peanut butter Buckeyes, but more importantly, I'm the kind of person that needs confirmation of how it's going to be, because when it doesn't go that way, I don't handle it well. So I showed up to class that next week, and I was waiting for the weatherman to show up. He was always late to class about 15 minutes because he had to do the weather on the news at 6 o'clock. So he walked into class a little bit late, and he walked right over to the food table, and it was like it was in slow motion. I watched him pull out of his bag a whole bag of peanut M&Ms. And I watched very carefully as he slid them across the table. I was in stunned silence until I was awakened as the M&Ms smacked into a box of Triscuits and knocked them on the floor. Just like a serial killer whose plot had gone horribly wrong, I tried to casually say, I thought you were going to bring peanut butter Buckeyes. Casually looked at me and said, well, I thought I could either finish this project and pass this class, or make homemade peanut butter Buckeyes. I chose to pass the class. All I could muster up was a, yeah. I sat there trying to hide my disappointment, but I was feeling inside like a little kid whose birthday balloon had gotten loose from her fingers, and all I could do was watch it float away to the horizon. They say you can never really trust what a weatherman says. Never were truer words spoken than in the winter of 2010. Thank you.